Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. So you guys have been clamoring for this man to return to the channel for another in-depth financial analysis video. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, you know him, you love him. He was one of the Forbes 30 under 30 men for a very long time. Unfortunately, he's aged out of that category now, and he's not up for consideration anymore. And, you know, as you get older, well, people don't really care about your accolades. But without any further ado, this man needs no further introduction. The financial guru of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything channel, Calibro. How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. What an intro, by the way.
Thank you.
That was, you know, you made me feel like I'm really a top dog here. But, yeah, I'm doing really well. Happy to be here. Happy to talk some finances with you. How are you doing? How you doing?
Listen, I'm doing great. And by the way, you are actually in the financial industry. You've been in that industry for probably about a decade, right? I don't want to...
yeah, counting internships and stuff through college,
yeah, so you know what you're talking about. It's not just some sort of meme. You're actually in this space, right, to a degree.
I've got a general knowledge.
Sure,
of it,
of course. You're in this world. And, you know, we got some pretty interesting data that was sent over to me not too long ago. And obviously, we're going to ask you the question of what this means. There's been a lot of people talking about Konami as a whole, especially when it pertains to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, of course, Konami is a company that has a lot of IPs well beyond just the scope of Yu-Gi-Oh! And here, if you're watching this channel, you probably care about what it means for Yu-Gi-Oh!, what it could mean for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Obviously, this is the first year without a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. And so we're going to take a look at a chart that could indicate whether Konami has been doing well, poorly, or just kind of the same over the last couple of years. So, Cal, I have the chart on screen right now, and, you know, business 101, even if you're not in the business world, whenever you see a chart going up like this significantly steep, unless it's a negative thing, that usually indicates something really, really special happening here. Take us through what this chart means and how it relates back to how Konami is performing.
Oh, yeah. So very easily, right? The graph is showing the market cap of Konami, and it is showing the growth. And I mean, you could just tell by the graph, right? If it's going up, and as you're going right, if it's going up, that's a good thing. You want to keep going up in the positive direction. And I mean, their market cap now, as it shows, is up at $20.5 billion, which you're like, okay, it's not the biggest company in the world, still a very high value. But you look at maybe, you know, how it's been doing, and like you said, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Its market cap last year was 12.8.
Right.
So, I mean, the market cap has gone up a significant amount in a year, which, I mean, should show as it is a good indicator for how the company is doing.
Cal, it is almost tripled since 2023. 2023, it was a $7 billion market cap. It's now almost 21 billion. And like, if you look, and we'll have the table on screen, you can see it was always in that 2, 3, 4, 5 range. And then it just exploded these last 2 years. What does that mean? Does that mean the company has just performed incredibly well these last 2 years?
Yeah, so the value of the company went up, whether that means they have been making a lot more money or there's more investors in the company that are bringing that up. I mean, it's a positive in any way that you look at it. I mean, it's going to be have more funding, you would assume, as the company's value grows, more people get invested in the company. Maybe it's because they're working on bigger projects, but I mean, just by the look of it, it definitely speaks well to their performance. And I mean, like you said, almost tripling in a couple of years is pretty crazy. It's not like the company's brand new, right? It's been around for a long time, hovering in that same range, and then you have this big spike. I mean, from the outside looking in, just at a graph, I mean, they're doing something right. They're doing something really, really well if they're going to continue having, you know, this kind of increase in their market cap.
Yeah, no, very well said. And to tie it back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, as we always have to do here, right?
Absolutely.
I look at it from like two different perspectives. I look at it from the perspective of, wow, this is great, right? The company that owns Yu-Gi-Oh! Is more valuable than ever. They're triple what they were worth, you know, 2 years ago, which is crazy, crazy growth. That means that there is a lot of potential funding to be put behind whatever Yu-Gi-Oh! Projects that they want to, you know, put the funding behind. But then on the other side of that same coin, on the negative, more pessimistic side, it's like, well, we're without a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. That doesn't seem to be negatively affecting how the company is doing overall. Now, I know that's a very general way to look at it. We're not going to have the really like inertia of how their different sectors are doing, I believe, until the end of the market year, which will probably be March of next year, because that's usually when the companies report. But I mean, you've obviously been associated with the Yu-Gi-Oh space for the better part of half a decade now. I mean, what is your takeaway from this growth, this incredible growth that Konami has had in the last couple of years?
I mean, in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, I understand both sides of it. You know, like they open up Konami Animation, they start working on, you know, their own animation projects in this new company that they built, right? So you're thinking they have all this funding, they have the Yu-Gi-Oh IP, and now they have an animation studio. This should bode well in any way, right? For whatever kind of projects they want to do, but specifically, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have a show, so why not add something? You know, you have all this funding and you're making all this money, why not fund a project that is one of your largest, if not your largest IP that you have?
Right.
And then your other flip side of the coin is the company is growing at a rapid rate and there is no Yu-Gi-Oh show coinciding with it. So then it's like, as you said, do they even need a Yu-Gi-Oh show? Like, is the company going to look at it as like, why take on such a project if it's not really going to help us that much and we're already growing like this? That would be your flip side.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see what's caused this growth. And, you know, I've done a video on it where we had a little bit of access to that paywalled stock report. I've never shown that report. You're one of the many people that has confirmed its validity. And in that report, they basically said the stock was a huge buy. And I don't even know if I've revealed it, but they said, buy the stock.
I want you to buy.
I want you to buy. Now you see this, and it's like, yeah, okay. They kind of knew what they were talking about. And even just from June, it's gone up like $2 billion. June, it was $18 billion. Now it's worth $20 billion. Actually, like 3 weeks ago, it was at $23 billion. So, you know, it's kind of actually curled down a little bit from the insane growth that we've seen. But when you look at them being on the money about, hey, this is a good stock to get invested in. Remember, one of the big catalysts they said in there was a reboot of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
Is there any more, I mean, just from a purely opinionated perspective, is there any more credence in that with the stock actually performing this well?
Well, I think that, again, right, you assume reports like that come out because people have some base knowledge of what's going on in the company, right? So you have to assume if someone is saying a reboot of Yu-Gi-Oh IP, regardless of kind of what style it's going to be, whether it be a show or something to the game or whatever it is, there's got to be some, at least whispers behind that, right? They're not just going to go into this report as financial professionals and lie and say, oh yeah, rebooting the Yu-Gi-Oh IP, and then nothing ever comes out. Like, the only way something like that happens is if a project falls, which is, I would think, is unlikely if they're writing something like that in a report.
Yeah, and if the company is doing this well. I mean, that's the other thing. If the company was floundering and was like, hey, we got to scrap this project, all right, we're not doing well. It's the opposite. So, you know, there's two ways to look at it. No Yu-Gi-Oh anime, hasn't been one for a while. Company is doing fantastically. And they have a crazy amount of funds now that are coming into this company that maybe they can do a really cool project for. So, you know, who the heck knows? But, Cal, it is always an absolute pleasure to bring you onto the channel. I'm sure we'll be bringing you on in a few months when we get more data regarding the inertia of what sectors have caused this explosion for Konami. And, of course, that'll probably be Q1 of next year. Do you have anything to promote, man? Where, if people want to know, I know you do some, like, stock picks. Where can we find that?
I don't do any stock picks. Nothing to promote, I guess. I don't know. I'll just say that the reports here, they give me that little extra bit of copium, right? Like, the company's doing so well, they have this IP that always does well. Why not invest in that? You know, so keeps my hopes up.
Yeah. Okay. I love it, man. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Cal. To everybody that has watched, please comment your thoughts down below. What you think this could mean? If you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, because I can honestly see people make the argument both sides as we've gotten into here. But either way, can't argue with facts. And the facts are that this company has tripled in market value in 2 years, from 7 billion to a little over 20 billion, which is absolutely absurd. And that is US dollars, by the way. So just crazy. Can't argue with that. That's just a fact of the matter. Thank you all so much for watching. I will talk to you all down below, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.
Take care.